What's up, everybody? These are 5 predictions that will change government contracting, which I believe for good for at least the foreseeable future. My name is Melinda Colon. I'm a government contracting advisor. I've helped my clients achieve 4.4 billion with a B, billions of dollars in government awards, contract awards, and with a win rate, helping them increase their win rate to 74%. And in this video, this is more of a live stream of some of the thought stream that I've had in the last couple of months as we start to see the unfolding, the evolving of the changes from federal down and kind of like trickling down to state and local. And I feel confident sharing this with you now, now that there has been more information, more decisions that have been made. A lot of this has been predictions. A lot of this has already happened, and a lot of it potentially will happen. Keep me honest. Keep me honest, and comment below if you don't agree. If you agree, totally cool. I love you anyway, but I'm going to share with you in case it helps you win, grow your business. So, because everybody, I'm going to say everybody, but a lot of people are focusing on what's not working versus what is. So, money is this current, right? Money is a current. Imagine you have 2 water faucets. Water is flowing seamlessly through both of them. You turn one off, all of a sudden there's more water flowing into another direction. Everybody keeps paying attention to the faucet that's off. They're missing the opportunity that's flowing in a different direction. And I have taught myself and practice the ability to see when these changes occur when it comes to government contracting. And I want to share them with you in case they do help you. And just really thinking about what to potentially do to your business, for your life, so that you're not ahead, or excuse me, not behind everyone else. You want to be ahead, right? You don't want to be behind. Like everybody else is behind. A whole bunch of people are behind. They're thinking and looking at what has happened that is completely out of their control, opposed to the opportunity that lies right at their feet. So one of the first prediction is the rise of micro contracting for small businesses. I believe that the agencies are being pushed to diversify their vendor base. This I've seen on, just the local and state level. I believe that it's going to be an initiative that's going to be pushed at the federal level as well. The Department of Government Efficiency, what the goal is to basically clean house, whether you agree with it or not. I agree with a lot of the things that they're doing, and I disagree with a lot of things that they're doing. Okay, so it's not 100% for me. I am excited at the same time for what they're attempting to do, which is to eliminate a lot of waste. In construction, there's a principle. It's called the 5 lean principles. And the 5 lean principles, just the gist of this, is to eliminate waste, eliminate time waste, money waste, and labor waste. Like, what is taking time, money, and labor that is not necessary in order to fulfill the need? And at the end of the day, that's important. You might have a box of receipts, right? You just kind of like stacking them throughout the year. If you're that good, high five. But you're stacking them throughout the year, and then when you get around to tax season, what do? You shuffle through all of those things, you organize them. Some of the receipts, you toss them out. Some of them are just like, they're not even supposed to be in that box. They're supposed to be in a different box. They're supposed to be filed away. It's some receipts from 2023, and you're like, why are they here? It's 2025. Like, this needs to happen. It's a requirement. This wasn't a Trump idea, actually. This idea came before Trump. It was come mid 90s that there was this conversation. You can look it up where President Bill Clinton actually initiated the conversation about efficiency. And so we're just seeing what was predicted and put into play now. That's all it is. Okay. Do I agree with everything? No, absolutely not. I don't agree with everything. Do I agree with a lot of it? I do. I agree with a lot of it. I do agree with specifically just kind of just eliminating all of these contracts that are unethical, right? Just lack integrity. I don't want to use my hard-earned tax dollars towards something that I don't believe in, that I don't agree with, that no one asked me for my permission, right? And we want to just get back to making sure that we're healthy, we're happy, and we're healed, right? Opposed to this, never ending desire, no need to have more and more and more government involved in our lives. That's not what I believe the government's for. I do believe that there's opportunities for government agencies and offices to work with small businesses because it's a part of how they do business and how we do business. And if we miss out on that opportunity because we don't like someone, I mean, then you're just allowing your emotions to keep you from opportunity. So agencies, I believe, are being pushed to diversify with vendors. There was a young lady that came to my masterclass a few weeks ago, and really sweet, sweet woman. And she was explaining to me that she is a retired vet, and when she retired, they recommended that she get into government contracting. So it doesn't sound like the demand is going down, does it? Sounds like the demand is at the same, if not more. It's like increasing because why would that be a suggestion if that is something that is no longer in need? The expect more set aside contracts. I definitely agree, and I definitely recommend this in small amounts for niche providers and consultants. The thing is that this is going to what we're seeing right now in government contracting in the government federally, in the federal space, is it's going to impact local and state. It's a domino effect. Everything is tied together. It's a web, if you will. And this is going to open a lot of doors for solopreneurs, for coaches, for micro agencies to win without being a prime, without being a prime. So either potentially directly to the client as a subcontractor. There's so many different strategies to winning government contracts besides prime, and they're underutilized. I share this in my masterclass. I talk about it in detail how there are different stacking. There's GovCom stacking opportunities. You might look at a contract and say, oh, well, I don't really do about 25% of what they're asking in the RFP. I guess it's not really for me. There's nothing for me. Well, I see that as, well, if you do the other, what is that, 75%, and you just need someone else to do the other 25, then you could be a prime and someone else could be a subcontractor. Do you know someone that provides those services? Simple, so simple. And so instead of skipping over that opportunity, work with someone who understands how to utilize them. The second prediction is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, I will, shadow of a doubt, I believe that it will be a requirement and also not a bonus. And I believe that cybersecurity will pull forward our demand and need for energy. So if you've ever Googled, like just ask ChatGPT, what are the physical elements to cybersecurity? They're mission critical, they're data centers. Data centers are heavily, heavily energized, like a lot of technology, a lot of power cables and cords, a lot of energy is flowing into this facility, this structure, and it needs to be cooled at all times. And so cybersecurity, I believe, is going to be something that we need to keep an eye on. Tangent for a moment. Do research the physical elements of cybersecurity, and also commodities. I'm just giving this away. You guys are gonna you could be rich on just what I just said. Commodities. Ask about commodities. What commodities are involved in cybersecurity? My gosh. Okay. You're welcome. If you just do that and okay, I'm moving on. Okay, so number 2 prediction, cybersecurity is not going to be an option. It's going to be a requirement. It's not going to be a bonus. It's going to be a requirement. It's going to be a requirement not just for us consumers and small business owners. It's going to be a requirement for the government, and it has been in certain sectors. But overall, and so once you understand the physical structure, the physical environment that is needed, also understand the online and software environments for cybersecurity. If you're in IT, if you're in software, this is prime time to get your stuff, your business in front of a government client. Now, something else is happening is that there's a consolidation of departments and offices, and there's an elimination of government offices and departments. And so, what I would recommend is that you reach out to your contacts if you have any, and just check in. Just simply check in. This is good business development. Just check in. How you doing? How are things going? Are you moving forward with your budgetary plans? Things like that. Just simple conversation can go a really long way. With rising cyber tech threats, even non-tech vendors will need basic cybersecurity compliance like CMMC specifically and NIST, NIST. You can Google these specifically, or you can comment below and I'll share with you some information. But if you Google them, I would recommend, or if you search for them, I would recommend that you go to the specifically to learn more about these places, you go to FAR.gov. And the reason why is you want to learn about these specific compliance standards and how they apply to your business. How do you apply to your business? Okay. So this is going to include cyber consultants, compliance services, and training programs. Have you ever considered building out a training program to teach the government about cybersecurity or how to utilize the software properly? There's just opportunity on top of opportunity. Instead of thinking about, when you see the news and you see the media and you're seeing all the headlines and you're looking at us like, oh, this is terrible, right? I would challenge you to look at it from a business perspective opposed to a consumer. When you're looking at it from a consumer, we are emotional. When we look at things as a business owner, we see solutions that we could provide so we can help, because we can't change facts, but we can change the solutions that are provided to those facts. If there's Department of Education completely eliminated, okay, what is this going to mean for a school district, a state? Oh, they have a lot more responsibility. Pick up the phone and call them, connect with them. Consider within your zone of genius, within your expertise, what are they going to need? What are they going to need that they don't even know they need? Consider that as a conversation before the RFP, before the advertisement, before the contract is even dreamt up, because this is when they're going to need advisors and trainers. Oh my gosh, big time. The third prediction is infrastructure and defense will dominate spending. Okay, so I believe that, this is just fact. The Department of Defense is the largest department that spends the most in the billions of dollars. I believe it's like $6-7 billion. It's outspends any other department. And I do think that this is going to increase over time, just because there's a lot of changes happening across the United States. There, it's just a necessity, and the competition to who is going to come first, whether it's going to be us or China, United States or China, when it comes to technology, AI, robotics, right? It's just going to be this race for the foreseeable future. And that will need some semblance of security, both and specifically in war times, cyber wars, it's just gonna there's going to be a necessity. There's going to be a need for the defense to protect themselves. This is going to include a higher investments in roads, in broadband, defense tech, and domestic manufacturing. You know, it's really funny when I was thinking of this note, I thought about just all of the television shows I used to watch. Like there's Smallville, like with Superman and Lois Lane and their high school students. And I'm thinking about Smallville and they had to evacuate and all these things. Well, keep that in mind. You know, when there's an evacuation, if there's sirens, if there's an alarm, if there's this, if there's that, they just need to be protected. Will we ever use it? God willing, we never do. But that's why we have insurance, is to protect ourselves from those things. Those are things that people are thinking about now. Can you participate in that conversation? Can you look for those contracts and start bidding and responding to them? And here's the tip that I want to share about this prediction is that if you could start to partner or subcontract in these verticals, you can carve out big wins. You know, a lot of people think that you have to be a prime in order to win real big. And that's actually not true because it all depends on the size of the contract and the scope of work. If you're priming on $1 million contract, well, that's $1 million, right? It's done. Okay. You have no subs. Cool. $1 million right into your business. But if you're priming on $100 million contract and your subcontract fee is $1 million, it's the same. The only difference is who's responsible for the contract. I mean, it depends. Like, do you want to be responsible for potential bonding, insurance, all the risks for that contract? No. Well, maybe subcontracting is an opportunity for you. If it if you really would prefer to be the prime, go ahead. Either way, you still get to list the contract ID on your past performance. So you get points for that. And you have some semblance of connection to the client as a sub, but you at least know who the point of contact is and you can open up the doors of conversation. So never like try not to avoid subcontracting because it is an opportunity for you. You just, you have to look at it a little bit differently. And this is what I teach people. The fourth prediction that I have is where automation is going to disrupt how contracts are being fulfilled. Hugely, hugely. I mean, we see it right now in commercial space. AI is taking over. I mean, it's just everywhere, right? Automation, AI, automation. So, what is it going to do to government contracting? Like, how is this going to affect government contractors? I believe that the DOGE, Department of Efficiency, is eliminating a lot of waste. In eliminating a lot of waste in the process, I believe that things will go a lot faster than it has in the past when it comes to government contracting. If you've been in the space or if you know someone who has been a government contractor, you know that the process can be really daunting and long. I believe that this efficiency is scrubbing those decks and just really making sure that we continue to build efficiency in the process of contracting as well. So I'm going to flip it on the other side because the law of duality says that there's two sides of everything. There's black and white, there's night and day, there's two sides of everything. Okay. Now, AI and automation are very valuable assets to the economy. And I believe that they're going to be very valuable assets in government contracting, meaning that if you are only focused on responding to contracts with AI, just like here, give me a response, and you're not putting any creativity, any tone, any strategy to your responses, just letting Chat GPT do it for you. I believe they're going to start cracking down on that because they want to build smart systems that win, and they're not looking to outdate their methods. They're not looking to change how they're selecting contractors, which is based off merit, your expertise, your knowledge. Can you actually deliver and do the thing that you say you can do? They're not going to change that, but they are potentially going to change how they award. And so I believe that that's something that we need to keep in mind. I do think that there will be a consolidation of solutions. So if you have AI built into how you deliver services, that's going to be something that's going to differentiate. It's going to make you stand out from your competition. If your system incorporates AI, consider that. Don't be afraid of it. This is something that the buyer wants. So just give them what they want, right? Because it's going to keep you relevant, right? So just keep that in mind. The fifth prediction that I have is global uncertainty will favor the US-based vendors. So the national security and economic stability are priorities. Obviously, we know that. Safety, security for all US residents is priority number one. And this will mean that we see a lot of jobs coming back, right? Manufacturing jobs. And this potentially, and there's a lot of, this is a domino effect again. So potentially we start to see new opportunities arise as this happens. If you could start thinking about what are the patterns, what are the like the specific unique differentiators that are occurring right now that you can start to have conversation around. You could start creating solutions to problems that are arising in the process, opposed to waiting for the problems to be loud en masse. Okay. So what does this mean? Any transition process has multiple steps. So if you can help solve a problem in one of the steps or all of the steps to get to a transitional period, that is very valuable. Let me give you an example. Say, for example, you're in, let's say, nutrition, and you're helping someone transition from, let's say, eating meat to not eating meat. Okay. Yeah, you could just eliminate it, but there is a transitional period to eliminate meat from their diet to replace it with something else that has protein that they can get vitamins from, etc. So, what are the steps? Can you provide what they need in the transitional period? And can you also provide the solution that they'll need on the other end? And that way, you don't have to know everything. You just have to walk with your client. And specifically, I'm talking about the Department of Education. We just saw the Department of Education be completely eliminated, whether you agree with it or not. Whether you're on the fence, you're like, I don't even know how to feel about this. Fine. Reach out to your state, your local districts, cities, towns, those school districts. Reach out to them. Find out, how are they responding? How do they feel about this? And what are they trying to do to prepare for what the future is going to bring? It's inevitable. It happened. It's done. It's done. So now what? And if you could guide them through the process of that, whatever it is, it could be a software, IT services, it could be consulting, like training on systems and processes, how to guides for or trainings for their teachers, their faculty, their staff. It could also be education for their parents and their teachers, their students. It could be materials. It could be videos, books. It could be so many different things that could come out from your expertise because you're just solving a problem that's high in demand right now. And it's I don't even we don't even have to venture into Is it or isn't it? It is, because the problem exists, right? We just need to pick up the phone and find out how we can help them solve it, or at least get them through the transitional period of overcoming the shock, right? So if you're thinking about any of this and you're considering yourself, Melinda, you said a couple of things that I'm considering in my business. Maybe you're considering buying a business. Well, here are three industries high in demand, right? IT, construction or trades, and also professional services slash consulting. Service-based businesses, high in demand, and they will be for the foreseeable future, because even though they eliminate, from the federal side, they eliminate jobs, there still is a demand for what they deliver, right? Sure, there are jobs that there are people who are not fulfilling any job, right? There's still on the payroll, but they just showed up, clocked in, clocked out. That happens. That happens, right? And then there are obviously many people who did come in, did their work, right? And they had tons of responsibility. And now those roles are being consolidated into one or two people. How can you help solve the problem on both ends? How can you help solve as a contractor who is helping the government and that specific entity within the government solve the problem that they need, and also help with the solution of, like, man, you're juggling three different jobs in one role. What does that mean? That means that they're not going to have time to flip through a ton of RFPs that are all chat GPT generated and no thought is in it, right? They're going to want to look for clean, specific, intentional proposals that are driving towards a problem and solution, right? A solution that you're helping them solve, a problem that you know as an expert that they have, and you're helping them solve it. And when you could do this, now you stand out amongst all the competition, because everybody else is just putting copy and pasting it together. When you put strategy to it, and you can leverage AI. I teach you how to leverage AI, but leverage AI wisely. The other thing is that there's a lot of contracts that are going on like unnoticed, not being responded to. And so what does this do? This actually is a problem. If there is a contract not being responded to, then there is a need, a demand for something that is not being responded to. That's an opportunity, right? So for every single thing that we're seeing as a problem, you potentially have a solution. And you just need to reach out, call them, contact them, or just respond to an RFP, and you become a solution provider. I want to invite you all to 𝐉𝐶𝐚☆𝐬's masterclass, because if you're thinking to yourself, what now? Now that I know that there's opportunities, and potentially you go to your state or local or even federal procurement site, and you look and you're like, okay, now that I found the opportunities, what do I do now, Melinda? Come to the 𝐉𝐶𝐚☆𝐬's masterclass. I want to share with you that specific tip is, if you have a thought for an opportunity, you're like, this would be a really cool service. I wonder if there's a contract for this. Go look. Go look. Go look at your state. Go look at your districts, your local, and also your federal. How do you do this quickly? Well, there's a couple of ways. You could register for a paid procurement website that would send you opportunities, or you could just take a few minutes, literally a couple minutes, time it takes you to brush your teeth, and just Google the state name and the word procurement, or the city name, town name, and the word procurement. If you are looking through a specific department on the federal side, and then the word procurement. And this would take you to their procurement sites. You can just see for free what opportunities are available and whether or not that has ever been an opportunity. So uncheck active and just see all of the contracts and see if that's ever been listed. Is it telecommunications ever been a thing? Have they ever needed this service like Salesforce or a different SaaS solution? Have they ever needed cloud space, right? Just look online. Have they ever needed embroidery services or financial services, financial planning, retirement? They've ever needed an attorney? Have they ever need any of these things? Just go search, look, and you'll get your answer. And if you're ready to take it to the next level and think to yourself, okay, now that I know I can go and find these opportunities, now what, Melinda? Come to the GovCon Millions Masterclass. Because if you're in IT, if you're in construction, and or if you're in consulting or professional services, come to the masterclass. So I'm going to teach you what to do now. Once you find the opportunity, once you know you want to do government contracting and add a revenue stream of millions of dollars, it just becomes a no-brainer. And all we have to do is just handhold you through steps that you can just use on a regular basis, easily, whenever you want for the rest of your life. And I share that with you in the masterclass. So go to govconmillionsmasterclass.com and I'll share with you how to do this, how to learn my system that has proven to help so many clients win government contracts so you can start winning now too. All right. Well, hopefully these 5 predictions help you understand how to prepare for the future. Well, everybody's paying attention to the smoke. Pay attention to the running faucet of opportunity in the other direction and go get there first. Get that, take advantage of that opportunity right now. And I'll see you in the next episode.